In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? We researched the conventions of film noir to see what elements we could use in our film. We found the common features of filming in black and white, set in a city, set at night, detective, mystery, having a femme fatale, chiaroscuro, the theme of pessimism, and a dark blue. We tried to stick to a few of the main conventions, such as we kept the costumes old-fashioned, the plot was dark and mysterious, it was filmed at night in the dark, and we had a femme fatale character. We developed a few of the features, such as having a woman killer instead of the typical male, to show how times have changed and empower women. We chose the setting to be filmed in a forest, not a city, to create an enigma of not knowing who is out there and fear of the unknown. We also challenged a few elements, such as a switch between black and white and colour shots to show areas of darkness and pessimism. This shows the contrast between characters and how some can be evil and others can be innocent. We also researched moral ambiguity, which we decided to use in the film. This is where the audience are unclear if the character is good or bad. It happens in Double Indemnity, where the audience doesn't know if Phyllis is good or bad. In our film, we made the killer morally ambiguous, and we made our audience decide if she is good or bad whilst watching the film. Also, we used the research from Rembrandt-style side lighting, where half the face is covered by shadow and half by light. It creates enigma, and we use this on the victim. We showed it on our blog. Before making our film, we found many influences. We watched a few classic noir films, such as Double Indemnity, which was setting was dark and mysterious, and the characters were typical noir, having a femme fatale and male character. We also watched The Killers, which the music was tense and enigmatic, and the theme was dark. We also watched a few neo-noirs, such as Drive, Panic Room, and Batman. The theme edits tension and darkness in the film, gave us inspiration for ours. The setting and characters in Double Indemnity gave us influence for the forest setting in femme fatale in our film. The music and the theme in The Killers gave us the idea for the music we made on GarageBand, and the theme of murder. We were inspired by the theme of murder and gangster and fast-paced shots in Drive. It gave us inspiration for our shots. In Panic Room, they used a lot of tension and dark scenes, which we modified and used for tension in our film. And finally, in Batman Begins, the theme of darkness gave us ideas for the setting and lighting used in our movie. Sherlock Holmes also gave us a huge influence for the costume and hairstyles we used. We took influences from the characters in the film. We also used some thriller influences from our own research and used features such as thrill, action, and fast-paced scenes and storyline. How does your media product represent particular social groups? We decided in our group to have a woman killer. This empowers women and makes them seem more powerful. As the victim is a male, the female killer is empowered. We auditioned our audience by using people that we knew and lived nearby to our group. We did this out of convenience, but it worked out well as we still got the people to act in the film we wanted. As we used influences from Sherlock Holmes, we made our characters higher class. This, however, shows higher class formal people as more powerful. It's been argued that in classic noir films demonise women, especially through the role of femme fatale. In our film, the femme fatale is the murderer, and this could lead to some people demonising her. But at the same time, it makes her a higher role and status as women at the time are not strong and independent. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? If our film had better quality and we took more time and spent more money in the production of it, then an independent production company such as Working Title could produce it. It's a smaller company, but with the right backing it could be produced well. However, for distribution, I've researched what distributors have distributed what films. I found out that Double Indemnity are distributed by Paramount, The Killers are distributed by Universal, Maltese Falcon are distributed by Warner Brothers, Sunset Boulevard are distributed by Paramount. As these movies are classic noir and the majority of the films are distributed by Paramount, and I've looked at Double Indemnity, which is also distributed by Paramount, I think Paramount will be a good film distributor for our film, as it's promoted successful film noir films before. Who would be the audience for your media product? After our research, we've decided that our film is aimed at teenagers around the age of 15 to 24, which is the typical age of cinema goers in the UK. We've aimed it at this age so we can include the murder and the thriller scenes without scaring the younger years. However, this age is a popular age for people involved in cinema who are more interested in films. From my research of saturation marketing, I think our film could be released in some small cinemas all over the country. This is saturation marketing, and I think it could be shown in some large cinemas as a new release to see what people think, and also in some small ones. This opposed to key city releasing, where it's only released in some key cities, for example London, wouldn't be a big enough film, so it would be saturation. How did you address your audience? I thought we'd capture the attention of our audience by first making a teaser poster, which I used iPicky and BeFunky. After our film was made, we did audience feedback to see what people thought of the film. We found out they liked the lighting and the contrast between black and white, the title, mise-en-scène, settings, and the sound effects we used. They thought it was creative and classed it as a thriller noir genre with bits of mystery. When we asked what could be improved, they said that the The titling was quick and took away from the attention from the character at one point, and the audio could be improved.
Voices and audio.
We also interviewed people telling them the plot of the film and got them to help us choose a name. I decided on Forget Yesterday, so we agreed and named our film that. Before the making of our film, we interviewed people to see what they thought of film noir and what they would expect to see in a film. We asked questions such as, have you heard about film noir? What do you know about it? What aspects come into your mind when you think about film noir? What new things would you like to see in a film noir film? What sort of genre would you like to see in a film noir film? Would you like to see something different from a film noir film? If so, what? What kind of plot would you like to see in a film noir film? If you could make up your own film noir plot, what would it be? Most had heard of film noir and knew a few aspects of it, and when we said about it, they thought about femme fatale, shadows, streets, darkness, and murder. They said they wanted to see thriller influences in action scenes. We used this research to make the final plot ideas for our film, and came up with ideas we did, such as having a femme fatale leading killer, having more thriller scenes, and setting the film at night in the dark. What have you learned about technology used in the process of constructing this product? In the making of our film, we used programs such as Final Cut, GarageBand, and iMovie. We put all the clips into Final Cut, and this is where we did all the editing on the film. I used transitions and changed the properties and lengths of the clips. As a group, we took turns in editing and changing certain clips, making sure they fit in and had a continuous flow, at the same time sticking to our theme of noir with some thriller aspects. I slowed down some of the shots, and on others made the duration quicker. We also changed the lighting and colour of the scene by using chroma key and clips we edited together for the final piece. GarageBand is where we created the music to our film. We always go and thinking of sounds which could work. After hearing some we thought would sound right, we recorded it and put it into our film, where we could change the volume and different aspects of it. Here we recorded some of the sounds using the keyboard as a piano, and used some sound effects for the flashback scenes.
This is horrible.
We used iMovie for the preliminary task, which was really handy when we made videos for audience research and feedback. It allowed us to make short films and edit them simply, so we could focus on the making of our film. We changed the length of the clips and added in pictures and sounds to finish it. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you've learned in progression from it to the full product? In our preliminary task, we learned how to shoot the 180-degree rule, shot-reverse shot, match and action, panning, long shots, and close-ups. We put these into practice in the short film clip we made to show we knew how to do the clips. When it came to our real film, we wanted to show that we could do these aspects and use the 180-degree rule and shot-reverse shot when filming conversation between two people. We used these so the audience wouldn't get confused on which side we were filming and showed who's speaking at what point. We used panning as the character is running away and close-up shots as someone's talking. Finally, we used long shots to show a scene when what's going on when there's more than one person in the shot. A match and action shot is when you cut just after an action is started, change the angle of the camera, and then cut just as the action is finishing. This gives the effect without showing the whole clip and keeps it interesting. We use this in our film when Jason goes through the door. A shot reaction shot is when you shoot back and forth between two characters, so that when they speak, the audience will see who's speaking. We try to keep the continuity by keeping the other character in the view in every shot, so you can see the conversation is still going on between the two. The 180-degree rule is when you imagine a line going through each character in the conversation and only film from one side. This keeps the continuity, as if we change angles and sides with the camera, then the audience may be confused. When filming, we stayed on one side of the characters, and this allows us to keep the continuity running through the film. By using the close-up, it shows a high status as he is in the foreground and class is more important. It shows a matriarchal society. We also use panning to show the continuous action